don't kind of beat yourself up or be frustrated if you think the progress you're making is slow. Because, I'm trying to get these 2 exercises, just 1 rep, is all I've got to do. And I'm going to be doing that for the next 9 weeks. And I've already been doing it for a few weeks, so you might say 12 weeks training just to get 1 of these on each side really well. And I'm sure you do, but I get people who maybe they come to a kettlebell session and they do the first session or not the first session, but the first session, they maybe try and do a kettlebell snatch and they're like, oh, I just can't get it. Oh, I just can't get it. I'm not getting it, and they're kind of frustrated with the fact that they don't pick something up on day 1, on session 1, and it's just having that longer term, that white belt mentality, that student mentality, that learning, because we've all been doing this for years, and like we said when we spoke to Brett the other week, you'll be doing something, and you'll probably still, Pete, you'll do like you said, you've just done like, I don't know, 50,000 pistol squats or something, but you'll do one day and you'll just suddenly think, oh, I've just felt something slightly different today, or I've just put a bit more pressure through my big toe, or I've just angled myself slightly differently, and it's changed the movement and I feel better doing it,
Totally. So it's bonkers. Like, where if you put your front leg straight out in front, it's harder. If you move it to the side slightly, you can move your hip on the other side slightly, and it gives you a little bit more leverage. If you hold the bell up here like you would in a goblet squat, it's way harder. Whereas if you hold it lower and go out in front, which is dubious whether that's legal or not, but it's still going up and down on one leg, so I don't really care. It's those sorts of things. It's just you just play around with it and try, and then and then you keep learning. Your body finds it and goes, do you know what, that's better than it was. That's better than it felt, so let's do that from now on. And you have to keep reminding yourself of that. So the snatch thing, my guys, they pick up snatches really quickly because they've usually done a stupid amount of swings and a stupid amount of cleans and a stupid amount of presses and marching in place or walking with a bell above their head. So they're used to every single part of where the snatch goes to, and they're not scared of the bell. So they pick it up very quickly.
The biggest thing to get over for a lot of the clients I work with the snatch is, well, firstly, I used to have a studio that was mainly made of glass. So I was just like, let's not experiment. The other one is and they find it with cleans as well, is getting over the wrist. And for some people, because they're just there to train and just lose weight or whatever, or just they don't want to be in pain while they're doing it. I mean, it's kind of like inherently uncomfortable doing a lot of the more advanced moves, when I've got kind of cauliflower ears on my forearms, the kettlebell bumps, just from doing so many jerks and snatches and things like that. But a lot of people, they get that little bit of bruising or the little bit of tenderness there, and there's like a visceral reaction to like, oh, I can't do this, I'm not doing this.
I know what you mean. It's some people don't want to, and it's fine. It's not everyone's going to be the same, but some people don't want to invest the time to learn a skill, to do something properly, to train, when they could do a more simple movement and still get positive adaptations, but they don't have to go through that whole learning process of learning a skill. And that's fully sort of understandable, but
I've been thinking a lot about this recently, and I put a post up on Facebook the other week. Actually, I was talking to my guys in the mindset group about this, about how, and I just put if it was a facetious post, but I put up, I've asked Google, I've asked Google what lavender smells like, and it's told me, but I still don't get it. Can anyone help? Right. So I only had like 2 people comment.
Smells like Marillion.
Yeah,
I did see that post, and
somebody commented describing what lavender smells like, and I was like, well, that's lovely, thank you, but I still don't get it. And this is someone I used to go to school with, actually, a lass who I used to go to school with, and she said, have you not smelled lavender before? Really? Like, can you not just go and buy a candle? And I was like, exactly, just go and smell it, rather than asking Google what it smells like. Go and smell it, right? And then Chris Denning, friend of the show, commented as well, and he said, can't believe you've not smelled lavender. He goes, it's pointless even trying to describe it. He goes, because it's different for everybody, and there's so much going on and blah and all that. And I can't remember exactly what he said. And I was like, exactly. You can't explain it to somebody. You just if you get them to go and smell it, and they'll be like, "All right, I get what it is now." So the point behind that is there are, people will say like, "Oh, I want to get stronger, I want to get fitter, whatever." Then you'll put a big chunk of metal on them, and they'll go, "Oh, it's a bit uncomfortable. I don't want to do that." And it's like, right, that's fine. You don't want to do that. So go, like, do the other things that you do want to do, like, circuit train, whatever, and you'll get to a certain level of strength and flexibility and mobility and blah, blah, and all that. But in my experience, and I don't know about you guys, I don't want to speak for you guys, but you see this a lot, is people do that for a certain amount of time. And then they actually get to a point and they're like, do you know what? I feel like I'm not progressing anymore. Like, where does this now go? I've been doing this for a long time and I just now get sweaty and it's got easier. How do I progress it? And then that's where the smell of lavender comes in. You've got to experience it to then start to do things slightly heavier and focus on one thing and blah, blah, and move through it. And then, because we know what that feels like, right? Because we've been through that process. But trying to explain that to somebody who doesn't know what it feels like is really difficult.